Hello, everyone. I have a very special guest today to talk Oscars. One of your favorite Oscar predictors, definitely one of mine, is here to help break down Best Picture and that very competitive Best Director category. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Luke Hearfield is here. Lukey boy, how are you?
Hey up, guys. Hi, O'Brien. I am so happy to be here. Thank you for that lovely introduction, mate. Yeah, I'm good. How are you, pal?
Really great. Really great. I'm actually really appreciative that you came because I think, Best Picture is very much in flux. I attended the TIFF Film Festival. I watched screenings here in LA. You attended Venice, Cannes, London Film Festival. So we pretty much kind of got the globe pretty well covered. Think we can make some pretty good educated guesses at this point about Best Picture.
Yeah, it's been a very good year. There's been so many good films this year. It's been a very competitive season, and a lot of great films have come in the fall festival circuit now. I think we both still have some blind spots. We're both Neros of C Mighty Supreme folks, so we can't really comment on that too much. We can only go off vibes and other people's opinions. But yeah, I feel like I've seen enough now to have a good sense of where the race might be heading.
So I think at this point, we probably have maybe the same 5 or 6 that are a little bit more locks, and the rest of the 5 are a little bit more up to grabbing from the pile. Let's talk about, maybe we'll take turns giving our locks first. We'll talk really briefly about our locks, and then we'll dive into those last remaining spots. So what do you have at number 1?
I think everyone's probably currently got this at number 1. It is Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another. Is that your number 1 right now?
That is my number 1. And is that what your predicted winner is right now currently?
Currently, yeah, it's really hard to argue with it right now. I know some people are making the argument about it's not, made its money back at the box office or whatever, but that's not really affecting my decision here that much. I think it is, a fantastic film. I had a few criticisms with it, but overall, I was just so enveloped watching it, and this really did feel okay, this is going to be a very accessible film to the Academy, and it's got so much going for it in terms of star power. It's politically relevant, but it's not off-putting. And then there's a whole Paul Thomas Anderson narrative as well, which we'll talk about later. But it just really feels like that's the one to beat. I feel like it's One Ball After Another's Best Picture slot to lose at the minute. But there are some films that definitely could be challenges. So
yeah, I think that box office question is something that, it's an interesting question because I always go through the same thing where if I want a film to win, I will convince myself that it can't possibly win, I think to protect my own feelings. I did that with Anora. I loved Anora so much that I predicted it to win, but I still had to protect my feelings by thinking, well, maybe this could happen, maybe this could happen.
I did that with Everything Everywhere, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because I am looking at the box office and I go, well, maybe the box office will affect it. I mean, after all, I can't really name a Best Picture that has ever lost money and won Best Picture. Even The Hurt Locker, which made not a lot of money, it still made back more than its budget. So part of me is oh, what if it's perceived as not successful, But I agree with you. I think there's just so many other factors going for it that I still would say that I would put that at number 1. And number 2, I have Hamnet. Is that what you have?
No, I don't have Hamnet currently. It's quite high, but it's not there. I actually have Sentimental Value.
Oh, wow. Very high up there. Okay.
Yeah.
And what you're thinking about why so high?
Well, when it comes to positions 2, 3, and 4 on my list, they're all sort of interchangeable by just tiny little factors. But yeah, Sentimental Value, I just think it's a critic's darling, really. It's a really well-liked film, just generally across the board. Most people seem to, if they don't love it, people seem to really like it or respect it. And it's just one of those lovely sort of films about the industry in a sense that I can see the Academy really liking, responding. I can see this film getting quite a lot of nominations, maybe not as many as One Battle After Another, but I can see it being a contender, a nominee for many categories, including not only Best Picture, but Joachim Trier. I could see potentially getting into director, also original screenplay. There could be multiple acting categories here. Acting nominations, for Stellan Skarsgård, Renate Reinsve, Inga, and Elle Fanning as well. So there's definitely potential for it to have a nice turnout on Oscars morning. But yeah, sentimental value. I just think it's gonna speak to the creatives that are watching it, and it's also a lovely movie about family as well. And it's, I said in I think it was my review after Out of Cannes, I said the wonderful thing about sentimental value is it kind of like meets beautifully in the intersection of family drama and a film about art and, you know, filmmaking, which are two things that the Academy love to acknowledge. So that's why I feel like it might be a little bit stronger. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Hamlet then, being number 2?
I feel similar. I just feel like I put it number 2 only because I feel like that is the other threat maybe to potentially steal Best Picture, because the reviews for Hamnet are just so strong in terms of audience reaction. It really causes people to sob, and I think when it comes to emotion, that is just a very strong motivating factor. You know, films like maybe Coda, where that created a lot of people to cry. You know, I can see a very similar situation. It's kind of very similar to the era of maybe like Saving Private Ryan, where Shakespeare in Love won. And there's also that motivating factor with, you know, the film being about actors, about the creative process and all that stuff. That is a nice little tie-in, I think, that the Academy will appreciate. What are the next ones that are locks for you? Like, what's your 3 and 4?
At 3, I've got Sinners, Ryan Coogler's Sinners. And then 4 is Hamnet for me as well.
Okay.
So it changes like week to week, like in terms of like what's 2, what's 3, what's 4. Like, you know, it just depends on what day of the week it is. But yeah, Sinners as well, there's just no denying the power of that film in terms of the word of mouth it's had and the longevity it's had. And I would, honestly, Sinners might actually be the film I would want to see win the most. Like, don't get me wrong, I would be more than happy to see One Battle After Another win, or Sentimental Value, or Hamnet. I think those are all fantastic films. But Sinners, I don't know, it's such a triumphant, like, accomplishment, you know, because it's, you know, a film that really surprised everyone. Critics loved it, audiences loved it. People actually went to see this film, okay? It did very well at the box office, okay? It's, you know, a success story for both art and commerce, you know? But yeah, Hamnet as well, like you said. It's just got that emotional X factor. Often, like, so you say, emotion does trump, you know, a serviceable action thriller like One Battle After Another. Maybe it could. It won the TIFF People's Choice Prize.
I mean, how many times have you seen those ballots, right, when they say, "Oh, I respect Power of the Dog, but my heart was with Coda," or, you know, you see that all the time, right? I really respect Roma as a film, but Green Book is what moved me, you know? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's true. Like, there's plenty of films where you appreciate, but you might not necessarily love as well. So if your movie is just, you know, more well-liked, maybe it has a better advantage. It is a popularity contest in a sense. But yeah, Hamnet also has the added boost of having Jessie Buckley as our, you know, best actress front run at the minute as well. Like, you know, like Mackie Madison and Nora last year, you know, it does sort of give it a boost in that sense as well. But yeah, I absolutely adored Hamnet. But yeah, those are the 4 that I feel really like locked in on. And my 5th spot as well is like, I'm pretty much there, but like I have a little, maybe 10-15% doubt that, well, maybe they'll miss it. I don't know. But yeah, those top 4, I'm pretty locked in. Are you really locked in on those 4?
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah. And then Marty Supreme would be your 5, is that correct?
It's actually not. No.
Okay, so would that be Wicked?
But no, it's not. I'm actually at my 5. Yes. So the one where I'm like, this is what I think is close to a lock, but I'm not saying it's lock just yet, is actually If It Was Just an Accident.
Really? Okay.
Yes, just because it won the Palme d'Or. And recent Oscars history has shown that they really, really respect the Palme d'Or winners. Like, the last 5 years in a row, they've always been Neon distributed films, and 4 out of 5 of them were selected for the Best Picture lineup. The only one was Titan, which makes sense given its content. It Was Just an Accident claimed the top prize. I finally saw it at the LFF. I missed it in Cannes, sadly, but I finally caught it at the LFF, and I was like, okay, let's see what this is about. And like, it was just such an engrossing watch, and I was like, yeah, I can see them still keeping the tradition alive of putting the Palme d'Or winner in the Best Picture 10. So that's why I feel like it's in there, but there's still just that, a little bit of doubt that it's not going to get there, because Sentimental Value won the 2nd place prize at Cannes. But yeah, people feel more assured on that getting in than It Was Just an Accident. Like, is this the film that, you know, breaks the pattern of, you know, the Palme d'Or winner not getting selected this year? But I don't know. It just, after I saw it, I was like, yeah, this makes sense for a pick, I think, for Best Picture. So that's my current number 5. Is your 5 My Supreme?
My 5 is actually Sentimental Value. At number 1, I have One Battle After Another, 2, Hamnet, 3, Sinners, 4, Marty Supreme. That's where I have Marty Supreme. Again,
nice.
Oscar expert. We haven't seen it. So I'm going by Oscar expert Brother Bro and Matt Neglia, who saw it at NIF. They have it secured pretty high up there in the Best Picture lineup. I trust them, to be honest, with my life. Best Actor frontrunner. It's going to be A24's biggest film of the year. December release. It's going to be really fresh on the voters' minds. So that's why I have Marty Supreme there. Number 5, Sentimental Value. That's why I have it, I guess, pretty low, but I still feel good about it getting in. You know, I don't know if you saw recently, it had a few misses at Gotham. I don't think that really matters too much. It was just an accident, number 7. I think my initial instinct watching the film was like, wow, what an incredible movie. I think it's possible that this movie will maybe do a little bit of what Seed of the Sacred Fig would have done, like kind of eventually maybe fade. But I think Jafar Panahi is doing the rounds. Like, I'm seeing him at places. He was at the New York Film Festival with Martin Scorsese doing the Q&A. He's out there. Like, Neon's getting him out there, which I didn't know that he was going to be doing as much press. Neon's doing, like, I think, a perfect job with this film. They are not dropping the ball with this film. Golden Globes are going to put Panahi in their Best Director lineup, and I think that's going to secure his spot there.
Yeah, I think he could actually win at the Globes as well.
Yeah.
I mean, they might go Paul Thomas Anderson start that, but the Globes might just go, well, Paul Thomas Anderson's probably going to win anyways. What if we just do our own thing, and go with Jafar Panahi? So yeah, I feel like that could be an outcome where we could see happen, but we'll wait and see. And number 6, I actually have Wicked for Good.
Okay.
Currently. Yes, and I should clarify, obviously, I've not seen Wicked for Good yet. Gut and vibes prediction currently, like, just based off how good the first one was, and the fact that typically with Best Picture, while they're going to nominate a lot of, critics' darlings movies, they do always honor at least 1 or 2 movies that, normal people went to see. So, like, Sinners is probably one of those. And I feel like Wicked for Good is probably going to be the other one. It's kind of like Doom Part 2. Like, if you nominate Doom Part 1, why would we nominate Doom Part 2? But
right.
Same with Wicked and Wicked for Good. Just looking at the trailer, it looks very strong. Like, it looks like it's up the same level in terms of, like, costumes and production design. And we all know how good Cynthia and Ariana were in the first one. And a lot of people are still predicting them to repeat their nominations this year, even though they were both nominated last year, which, is kind of unheard of. We don't really see that happen, like people being nominated consecutive years of playing the same role. Okay, just I need to know if that's actually ever happened in the Academy history. Production design, costume design, hair and makeup, song. I feel like a Best Picture nomination makes sense to come with it. Like, it's just nice to come as part of that bundle. So yeah, Wicked for Good is currently my number 6. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to admit, I severely underestimated Wicked the first round. Severely. I was not a believer that The Wicked was going to be a Best Picture player until it premiered and those reactions came. And then I was like, oh, wow, okay. And I was doing the same thing this year. I was talking myself into thinking, well, maybe, the element of surprise is gone with the first. The first Wicked was kind of a surprise. Like, whoa, it's really good? What a surprise. And now the bar is set. And is Wicked Part 2, which I've heard on the Broadway second act, it's not apparently as strong as the first act. So then I was starting to get the feeling, well, maybe, it's not going to meet the expectations. But like you mentioned, we just got these social media reactions. Have you read some of those?
I did, yeah. I've read like a handful. I retweeted a bunch of them because they were very, very positive. And it's like I've tried to temper my expectations when it comes to first reactions, because often they can be hyperbolic and so they get lots of shares and retweets and all that. So I don't put too much stock in them, but there are a handful of people in there who have seen it and whose opinion I do sort of trust. So I'm like, okay, well, if they're saying this, then yeah, I feel like it's got a pretty good chance of following. I mean, like they shot both Wicked and Wicked for Good back to back, you would think the quality from the first one is still going to be there, having that though they shot it all pretty much at the same time. I could maybe see myself taking out my 10 if it doesn't live up to expectations, but for now I feel pretty confident. It's not a lock, but I feel fairly confident about it.
Yeah. Oftentimes you have to look at these kind of social media reactions, and then you have to kind of do your own algorithm in your head of figuring out what the real response is. You kind of reduce it by 25%. But this one was pretty over the top enthusiastic. I saw Deadline even compare it to Godfather Part 2 in the sense that it was, quote, more thrilling and more exciting than even the first Wicked. But yeah,
what a comparison!
Yeah,
Wicked for good. The Godfather Part 2 of musical adaptations. Yeah, wow. Wow.
Even Jazz from Variety said that this was going to leave you with, I guess she called it an emotional gut punch. When the critic reviews comes in, I could see Wicked probably not being as strong as the first Wicked. I could see it also get the same amount of nominations because there's those additional songs that you can put in. So at the very least, this is kind of Universal's big kind of push. And I think it looks pretty safe as safe can be right now without being reviewed by critics yet. So, and I think we do have pretty much the same 1 through 7, just in different order. Yeah. So now we're going to get into those final 3 spots. And good sir, Lukey boy, what do you got at number 8?
Cool. Oh, just before I get to number 8, my 7 was Marty Supreme. But yeah, you're right. Okay. We're same 7, just different order. But yeah, so 8 to 10, yeah, this is where it really gets tough. I've got No Other Choice at number 8, currently. And again, I don't feel confident on it, but yeah, this is just, it's partly a wish prediction, partly like there's enough to make me think it could happen. Because I've also realized that this, as it stands, is the 3rd film from Neon that I've got in my 10 for Best Picture, which is a lot. It's a lot from one distributor. But yeah, No Other Choice. Absolutely loved it in Venice. It was weird because it didn't win a prize at Venice, and everyone was like, "What? Was it not that good?" And then you guys saw it at TIFF, won the like the international top prize at TIFF, and I was like, "Okay, good. Phew, it's good still." And yeah, people seem to really, really like this film, and I want so badly to see it get into best picture, because I was a big fan of Decision to Leave. I was cheerleading for Park Chan-wook that year, and yeah, I'm so glad he got the BAFTA. But yeah, I was kind of really sad that he didn't at least get into international feature with Decision to Leave. That was really sad. So, but this just seems to be like even more of a crowd pleaser, maybe a bit more accessible, because it's a lot of people are comparing it to Parasite because it's sort of a satire on on society and capitalism and all that. So. Yeah, I think there's a chance for it to get in, but it's definitely a film I can see missing. Like, it could just be one of those hope dictions that I want to see happen, but I think there's enough to make me feel like it could happen. So yeah, that's currently why I've got number 8. What about you?
I have the same exact thing. I have No Other Choice.
Oh, yay!
And for very similar reasons, I agree that it's a little bit of a hope diction, a bit. When I first saw it, I thought, well, this thing is a slam dunk. Like, this thing is a blast in the face. What an exciting film. If Parasite won Best Picture, surely this could get nominated, I was thinking, And yeah, I guess I'm getting a little bit of cold feet, just a little. I had it above. It was just an accident because I thought, okay, this is really Neon's true number 2 right now, if you ask me. But I am getting a little bit of cold feet. I'm switching. It was just an accident. But I'm holding on to No Other Choice because I just want to see it happen. But beyond that, I do think there is, a real credible case to be had about this getting in at the end of the day. Once Academy members do see it, I mean, Globes are going to come. I do think this stands a great chance at Best Comedy Actor, Directors, possible, not really, maybe, but Best Film, there's 6 slots, right? And I think it's very possible that this gets 4 or 5 nominations at Globes. Again, it's just such a very easy film to watch. And it's its most accessible film, I would say, for the Academy to recognize than his other previous work.
Yeah, I think you're right. It does kind of hinge on the Golden Globes. Like, if the Hollywood Foreign Press Association does get behind it, gives it several nominations, that's going to inspire so many other voters to check it out. Because, they've given it 4 nominations, like, it must be good, I'll watch it. And then it's because it's such an entertaining movie as well, like, people are going to enjoy it, but it also has so much to say as well, like, so it's just that lovely balance of, like, okay, I'm having fun with this film, but also, like, it's not just disposable popcorn fun, it is actually got, some substance to it. So, fingers crossed, it does snowball, but, like, yeah, the fact it stalled at Venice to start with just got me all like flustered, and like I just don't know where I stand with this film. Like I know there's love for it, I know there's passion for it, but yeah, there's just still that sort of little nagging feeling that, God, what if it is just a fantasy? What if it is just the thing that film Twitter really wants to see happen? You know, the cinephiles want to see it happen for him so badly, because Park Chan-wook's never had an Oscar nomination as well, and people really want to see him get that. And while director is going to be really hard for him, even though I would certainly give him the nomination for Best Director. We'll get into that later, but he could get into adapted screenplay. So yeah, I would really like to see this happen, but yeah, it's No Other Choice is one that I'm really like, it can go either way, and we're just sort of waiting to see where the chips lie. So.
And he's also listed as a producer, so there's another nomination there. If we get him in picture, we could still nominate him, guys. You know,
just give him a nomination. Yes.
And I don't know if the comparisons to Parasite kind of hurts the film or helps the film. I wonder.
There's an argument there. Yeah.
I'm just really crossing my fingers because, like you said, I agree. I'm a big fan of this film. I have a hard time imagining it gets ignored. But like you said, Neon has a full slate this year. Having 3 seems a little harder. One of them's got to fall off, but I'm hoping it's not No Other Choice. So what do you have at number 9 then?
Oh, okay. Like, I feel like I'm one of the few that still has this in their 10, but I'm...
Kelly.
This is pure... No, well, we'll get there, but like, for me, number 9, I'm still holding on to it for now. I'm going with Mona Fastvold's The Testament of Anne Lee.
Wow. Okay.
I know, it's a big swing, and I understand why people would say, oh, that's stupid, you're throwing away a prediction there. And like, I might, like I said, it's a position number 9. I could easily take it out. But the thing is, I don't think anyone truly knows just yet how The Testament of Anne Lee is going to play over award season. Like, it is such a divisive film, but it really does have its passionate supporters. Like, some people really love this film, and there's plenty of people that just really don't like it, really, really hate it. But this is all coming from that feeling place. Like, we're in October, like almost November. It's still so early. All we've got is the Gotham Award nominations to go off. Like, there's not much evidence, not much stats. So we can only theorize at this point. Yep. And I'm going off feelings and vibes, and this is purely that. Like, I feel like The Testament of Anne Lee is another one where it's probably going to get some nominations in some, like, techs and crafts. Like, I can see it getting into maybe costume design, maybe production design, sound, maybe a song nomination if they're eligible. And even Amanda Seyfried has a reasonable chance of getting into Best Actress. And what really keeps me hanging on to it is the fact that Searchlight picked it up. And Searchlight, most years, Searchlight have at least one film in the Best Picture lineup, okay? So with all of Searchlight's other contenders this year, The Roses, Rental Family, Is This Thing On, I don't see any of those films getting into Best Picture. So, their best shot, I think, is The Testament of Anne Lee, which is why they think they picked it up. And that's going to give Amanda Seyfried a boost. And if she's getting into Best Actress, potentially, and a few techs and crafts come along with it, I still think there's a world where it can get in. I can see it being sort of that weird, artsy pick that the Academy just liked for some reason. Like, I could see it being the Emilia Perez of the year, like, but even though that's way more buzz-sonic. But that was a weird musical. People got behind it, gave it the most nominations for, the most nominations for a foreign language film ever at the Academy Awards. I still don't understand why. But yeah, I can just see them liking this. That's the only reason I have it here, is because I can just see enough people in the Academy respecting it and feel like, yeah, I'll put it in there. I'll give it a nomination. But yeah, it's absolutely a film I can see missing. But at the same time, I can see it getting in. Like, it's either or. So that's why I have it at number 9. I know it's silly, but we'll know in a few months' time which way the wind is blowing with this film. Right now, we don't know. That's why I've got it in my 10. And I'm sticking to it for now. So call me crazy if you want. But hit me, bud. You're number 9.
Yeah. My number 9, I have somewhat for similar reasons. You bring up a good point about Testament of Anne Lee having passion. Comes to the winners, right? You got to be widely liked. We know Testament of Anne Lee is not widely liked by everyone, right? It has its detractors and all that stuff. But like you mentioned, there is those few passionate people, which is what you really need for the nomination. Because if you get, I think it's like around 9% or whatever of first place votes, you're automatically in. And if you get like 5 or something percent, then, it goes to other rounds, and then you got to have the 2s, 3s. So like you said, I think it could be close with Testament of Italy because there is going to be a good sizable #1 votes. It has a little bit of a European feel. And I can see, this Academy is becoming a little bit more international. So you might have, you had me rethinking Testament of Italy. I have it way down. So you made me at least bring it up a little bit. But at number 9, I have Frankenstein for that reason.
Yes.
I don't think this film is, widely, I would say, I guess, loved by everyone, but I think there is passion there. So I think there is going to be quite a few #1 votes because there's just people who are diehard Guillermo del Toro fans. There's people who are fans of the classic novel. And Nightmare Alley, there's a little gnat there. Nightmare Alley got a 70 on Metacritic. Frankenstein's doing better. It's got a 78. And also Netflix is currently there are other contenders like House of Dynamite and Jay Kelly. Those are kind of falling away. And it seems like Frankenstein's kind of emerging as one of the better options for Netflix. And again, Guillermo del Toro is going to be going around. He's going to be doing the rounds.
I think it's a safe, sensible, logical pick for like a 9th or 10th spot right now, Frankenstein. When I saw it in Venice, I was like, okay, this is probably going to be a Tex and Crafts player for sure. Like maybe in a cool world, Jacob Elordi could get into Best Supporting Actor. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I never saw it as initially as a Best Picture nominee. But now that we've seen the bulk of the contenders for this year, it does seem like for me it's on the bubble. Like I don't have it in my 10, but it's one of those films where I'm like, this can get in, but I can also see it still missing. So, but yeah, you make some excellent points about it. The fact that it's just Guillermo, like he's just so widely loved, like just universally. The source material's loved, and it's a match made in heaven in terms of the source material and the filmmaker. And yeah, while I don't think it has that unanimous, widespread praise of say, Pan's Labyrinth. I mean, I even thought Pinocchio was better than Frankenstein, but animated film not getting the Best Picture sadly, which is a real shame. But yeah, there is enough here, I think, with Frankenstein for it to happen. It's just I need to see a little bit more evidence first before I jump on the bandwagon, because I can absolutely see myself putting Frankenstein into my 10 at some point. Yeah, again, there's the argument which is the Netflix film that's gonna rise to the top, if any. I think on paper, Frankenstein probably makes the most sense. So I respect anyone that has it in their 10 right now. I'm gonna wait and see before I put it in mine. But absolutely understand why it's in your 10.
Yeah, no, I'll just say Nightmare Alley, that was always a mystery. That's one of the biggest mysteries of my life is how did Nightmare Alley get Best Picture? It made $4, So I'm kind of really clinging on that feeling of okay, well, if Nightmare Alley can get in, Frankenstein is a stronger contender than Nightmare Alley. So surely it has to get in. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, Nightmare Alley, I think, was Fox Searchlight, right?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
So I think that was probably their big contender of that year.
Yeah,
I have to go back and see what their other contenders were that year. But number 10, what do you have, man? What's in that last spot?
10's always the toughest, again, because I've got, even after we've done our 10s, there's still 7 or 8 films that there's an argument for. But I have landed on Jay Kelly. I'm still advocating for Jay Kelly.
Wow.
Because so when I saw Jay Kelly at Venice, I was immediately, in love with this film. I really love Jay Kelly. And yeah, people have their criticisms. I understand it's a very, very mixed film. But yeah, I just really loved it. And I felt like this is the type of film that a lot of Academy voters will really like. It's a pleasant yarn. It's star-driven. It's about the business in a sense as well. And given that it's sort of also got the sort of lovely little roundup of George Clooney's career going for it, and everyone's really sort of hoping to see Adam Sandler get the supporting actor nomination as well. And there's so many good things about this film. I love the score. I love how it's edited together. It's just, I think it's a I think it's a really strong movie for me personally. And like, it was lovely seeing at the LFF, like most of the people I spoke to really liked Jay Kelly. So like there is people that really still like the film, and there's people that don't like it, but I think it's just maybe a good movie, maybe not a great one. So, but is it an Academy Awards movie? Maybe. Like it could be like sort of that film that's on the bubble, like Maestro a few years back. Like not everyone loves it, but you can see it being nominated for Oscars. If it does get sort of a Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor combo, or score, or some other nominations, maybe picture can come along with it. I think it's a nice enough film. People seem to like at least enjoy it. A good chunk of people do, anyways, and I feel like it might be quite accessible to Academy voters. And also the Netflix factor. I don't have Frankenstein in. On paper, I feel like Jay Kelly makes the most sense to me. I think, I think Train Dreams is probably like the best film of all of Netflix's options that they've got going for them. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be as awards friendly as something like Jay Kelly or Frankenstein. But yeah, Jay Kelly, I just feel there's something still there. I'm still waiting to see if it's dropped off or if it's actually going to like, get a bit of momentum or something. We'll see. I mean, Adam Sandler did get on the Gotham Awards. It's not really much to say, but it doesn't really affect the Oscars. But, it could be an indicator that maybe there is still some love for the film. I've got it on the 10th spot. It's something that I can easily see myself bumping off. Yeah, I'm sticking with Jay Kelly for now. Like, I need to see more, like, nominations from the precursors and stuff before I rule it off. I just think there's something there. And I think people are just so quick to dismiss it at the minute. Same with Testament and Lee. And, like, all I'm going off is guts and vibes and all that. And, yeah, I can afford to, like, go with those instincts right now, because sometimes I have been right in the past about just sticking to those guns about films that maybe not others people can see or like, but I can see the Academy liking. And yeah, so maybe this is that sort of situation.
I mean, I love that this is in your predictions. When I saw the trailer, man, if I was judging just by the trailer, because I haven't seen this is a blind spot of me, currently one of the last remaining films I need to see. Right. Based on just that trailer, I mean, I would have thought this was a shoo-in, a top 3 contender, Like you said, it's about Hollywood. Not only that, it seems to have a European sensibility, right? Or no?
I don't know. I got an American vibe to it, but there is a sort of wistful...
Oh, okay. Aren't they traveling in another country? Or?
They are, and it is certainly romanticized in that way. But it's definitely sort of a love letter. Like, the opening scene alone is very, very Hollywood. So, yeah, it's kind of a lovely fusion of both, in a way, I'd say. But yeah.
So tell me, what's the problem? Like, what do you see what people don't see in this film?
Well, I was saying, I left Jay Kelly.
What is the problem?
I left Jay Kelly really happy. Like, I was like, that's great. I love this film. Like, this was really lovely watch. Like, it hit me, like, emotionally. Like, the ending was very impactful for me as well. Quite cathartic. But I think people have a problem with the middle part of the film. Maybe it just meanders too much. Maybe the message gets a little bit lost. I don't know. But like, I really liked it. But some people just think it's a mid-Baumbach film. And that's okay. It's completely valid if you think so. It might not be Frances Ha. It might not be Marriage Story. But for me, like, it was still a really good watch. Just really exciting. And I'm excited to watch it again. Like, I'm more excited to watch Jay Kelly than I am Frankenstein again, honest to God. So I've been so thrown off by other people's reactions to it, because a lot of people just saying it's not that good. But I guess I just don't see what they see. So
what kind of voter would this appeal to? Does this skew more older voter, or
maybe older voters, given that it's sort of a celebration of Clooney, and he's obviously very well integrated into the Academy circles, and I guess is sort of on the cusp of being one of the veterans in terms of actors. So yeah, maybe the older demographic, and it is sort of a celebration of the business. Yeah, is it everyone's number ones? I don't know. I feel like maybe it's more of a film that plays somewhere in the middle, like a lot of people's 5th or 6th or 7th votes. No, maybe not a lot of ones, but yeah, it's definitely not in any way a film that's a lock, but it's just like one that I can still see a pathway for. Like, it's just like, if Netflix give it the right push, if Sandler and Clooney are campaigning properly and they are getting themselves out there, I could still see it squeezing in. I think it is a really watchable movie that still a lot of people do seem to like. Like, the fact that it had that sort of next their surge of love at the LFF was good to see. I was like, oh, good, it's not just me. I wasn't crazy for liking this film in Venice. Other people like it too. So yeah, I was glad to see other people responding so well to it as well. Like a lot of people told me it was like one of their favorite films from the LFF this year. So I was just like, okay, good. There's still something there. But will it pan out with the Academy Awards? Maybe not.
Well, you've made me very excited to see it. I don't have it too far outside my 10 because of the reasons you've listed. I kind of feel like I have to see it for myself. Yeah. But at number 10,
yes,
this is one I'm being a little stubborn on. Okay. But hear me out.
Okay.
This is where I have Train Dreams. I have Train Dreams. I just have something in me that feels like choo-choo, baby. I think this movie could do it. Out of the Netflix contenders, we talked about this. I think you mentioned this already, that this is the highest currently scored Netflix contender. It's got an 85 last I checked on Meta. Slightly higher on Letterboxd than the other contenders, more than even Frankenstein. Yeah. I don't know if it's likely that both Frankenstein and Train Dreams gets in. That seems a little hard to imagine, but hey, maybe it could happen. And we do have a little bit of a package, possibly. We do have cinematography, possibly screenplay, outside chance of Best Actor. I think even Best Supporting Actor. It's a huge long shot, but I think that's maybe possible. I do see this maybe taking a very similar trajectory to Sing Sing, even though Sing Sing didn't make Best Picture. No one seems to say a bad thing about Train Dreams. That's the one thing I noticed. Yeah. I could see it maybe sneaking in that PGA, Critics' Choice Best Film, and maybe that just is enough to kind of give it into that 10th slot. It's like very Terrence Malick-y or Kelly Reichardt, but much more accessible than the film. It has a more lyrical feeling to it. It's not incredibly like story driven, but I think this film has a little bit of like an it factor. And it's currently ranked right now on Gold Derby, last I checked, at like number 17. And I just feel like, whoa, that is way too low. So I'm going to go ahead and say I'm buying that Train Dreams stock. I'm going to get to the train stop first before other people do. And I'm going to say Train Dreams gets that 10th slot. Am I confident on it? No. I'm not confident that it gets in, but it's a hope diction, but also one that I think could pan out in the end. I don't think it's going to be a top 5 contender by any means at the end of the year, but maybe a number 9 or 10 I think is possible.
Well, first of all, massive respect for having it in your 10. And at this point in the race, or whatever, we don't have enough data or information. Why not put any predictions? Like, if you feel something that no one else is, go with that. Okay, like. Because sometimes you might be right, and then you can say, oh, that gut feeling I had was right about this, and I just stuck to my guns and just put it in there. It might not pan out. You're smart enough and self-aware enough to know that it might not happen, but yeah, I always respect people that don't just follow the crowds, and like actually say, no, I feel something about this film. I think it might pan out, but it might not. I think the only reason it's not getting as much sort of like, fanfare is because it's sort of being eclipsed by the two more starry vehicles of Frankenstein and Jay Kelly. Like, they have got some big names in there, like, and not just like, the actors, but the directors as well, okay? Like, I don't think a lot of people know who Clint Bentley is. So, like this is sort of like, people are more drawn to the big names, the A-listers. And that's why, like, Jay Kelly and Frankenstein just seem to have a little bit more discussion in the zeitgeist, I'd say. But yeah, you kind of hope maybe there's an outcome where Train Dreams does sort of catch fire, and like people go, maybe Netflix are like taking stock of people's reactions and going, no, actually there is something here. Like, maybe we should be channeling more of our resources into a better campaign for Train Dreams. But it's so easy to be seduced by the star power that you kind of toss like that sort of the beautiful smaller movie to the side because people are just drawn to the bigger, shinier, brighter thing. I don't have enough evidence yet to make me think it's going to happen, but yeah. I absolutely respect you for putting it in your 10, and I'm glad to see someone's predicting it.
Well, I'm always trying to also, like, I don't find it very fun, which I appreciate your predictions too, like Testament of Ann Lee. Like, I like that you're not really just feeling the temperature of right now. A lot of people can do that, but I like that you're trying to foresee into the future of what could shift over the long-term time, and that's what I'm trying to do a little bit with Train Dreams. I know it's not in the 10 today, but I'm thinking long term. I'm thinking maybe down the road it could be. And my issue with Sing Sing was always that it felt very contained and small. And Train Dreams feels a lot more expansive. I think the cinematography really kind of elevates that film to a level that's a bit more like, it just feels like there's more dazzling visuals to attach itself to a story that kind of is, well, I found very moving. If Netflix targets those screenings to AMPA voters, making sure that there's always someone at that Q&A to talk about the film, I think that this could be a film that makes it. But what I did notice is that we both don't have Avatar in our Best Picture lineup. So what's going on? Like, is that a number 11 for you, or is it even not even close to the 10?
So Frankenstein's my 11. Then it's Avatar, Fire and Ash. One reason that I don't have it in my 10 right now is because, well, for one, I've not seen it. I don't know. I just don't have that feeling about Avatar just yet. And I know people will make the argument that, well, Avatar 1 and Avatar The Way of Water, both Best Picture nominees, and it's James Cameron. I get it. I don't know, but I'm just not so sure that there's going to be this immediate urgency to put Avatar, Fire and Ash in the 10, even though it could be like a Wicked for good or Sinners slot in terms of like movies that make money, and they want to put some movies in there that, you know, ordinary people want to go see, you know, because they want it to be a celebration of all sorts of film. And I am excited to see what James Cameron's going to do. Okay, he makes incredible movies, but yeah, there's just a few things like holding me back from feeling assured. There was such a big gap between the first Avatar and Way of Water. Okay, there was a lot of anticipation building for that film, and it somehow managed to live up to expectations. Now the gap between The Way of Water and Fire and Ash is only a few years. Okay, it's not like we've had the same level of hype and anticipation building up for it. So we're pretty sure it's going to be good, but will it be nominated for Best Picture? I don't know. You shouldn't really bet against James Cameron because he's proven time and time again just how good of a filmmaker he is. I'm holding off for now until I've seen the film and have a better sense of it. But there's just a few little factors, maybe a little bit of genre bias. Yeah. That's sort of why I'm sort of holding back. How far down your predictions is it for you?
I have it at number 11, and a lot of the reasons you're listing, you know, I had it in for a while, but I mean, like you, I don't doubt the Cameron. I believe in the Cameron, but a lot of the reasons you listed, you know, I think that short period of time, we only had to wait a few years for this one as opposed to the second one. I think it's a really excellent point. We saw a drop off in nominations from that first one to the second one. First one got like 9. Second one got around 4 or 5, I can't remember.
Yeah, 4.
And December release is nice. It's going to be really fresh on people's minds. So that, you know, that is something that it has going for it. You kind of want to diversify your Best Picture lineup with a mix of art films and international films and Hollywood fare. And I feel like if Wicked didn't exist, if Sinners didn't exist, okay, I have room for Avatar. But when you put it in and you got all these Hollywood films, you're kind of like, I don't know if this really fits for me. And Avatar seems like the one out of those Hollywood fares that could easily not get in. Yeah. So what's at 12 for you?
12, I have...
Or like, what's outside the cusp?
Okay,
would you say for yourself?
So next would be like Begonia. Actually, I really like Begonia. When I saw it, I was just like, I don't know if this is a Best Picture film, given how much fanfare there was for Poor Things. Like, I just knew right away with Poor Things. There was like a knee-jerk reaction. I was like, the Academy's going to love this. With Begonia, whilst it's really entertaining, really... like a really fun, challenging watch as well, I just don't think it has that sort of universal love for like awards maybe, but I do think Jesse Plemons and Emma Stone are fantastic and absolutely deserving of it. It's one of those films I can see maybe getting in, but I just don't. I'm not convinced of it at all. Springsteen, I did not like. I'm sorry, I saw it at the LFF.
I didn't like it either.
God, I was so bored, and I was just like, I was just like, if this is like, if this gets into Best Picture, I'm gonna sulk. Like it's. We don't need it. It's just, it's fine. Like, fine is being generous, I think, as well, saying, like, Jeremy Allen White's fine in it, but I'm like, I don't want it to get into Best Picture. Like, I don't think it will either. So hot off the heels of A Complete Unknown last year, and I just don't think they're gonna, like, feel the need to, because it's just so similar. The Secret Agent, the 4th Neon film, that's everyone's sort of like, maybe Wagner Moura's getting into Best Actor. Could it show up in Best Picture? You know, do the whole Fernanda Torres getting Best Actress, showing up in Best Picture thing, maybe. House of Dynamite, I'm not convinced. I know it's Catherine Bigelow's sort of comeback. 8-year gap. The problem with the film for me was like the ending did not stick the landing as well. I think it left a lot of bitter taste in people's mouths. I don't think it's going to have that sort of blanket appeal that that it needs to. I think it's just going to drop off at some point. Those are sort of all the films that are like on the outside looking in for me. Is it similar for you?
Yeah, I'll just say the two films that you mentioned are the ones that I'm really kind of wondering whether it could crack in. You know, a lot of the ones you mentioned, I'm not really like heavily considering. Like you said, like Deliver Me From Nowhere, I've given up on, and House of Dynamite, I've given up on. But the two that I am kind of curious about whether it could break in, Secret Agent. I do think there is some passion there. I've seen some people who love it. We have to now be aware of that kind of I'm still here sneak in for the Best Picture. Like you said, Wagner Moura could possibly win Globes. So we can see a very similar situation that we did last year where he wins Globe Best Drama Actor, and then that's enough to push it into Best Picture. Another one that I think you mentioned that I am keeping my eye on as a possibility is The Hind of Rajab. I do think there's something special about that film. It's very powerful, very important. It drives emotion. And yeah, I could see it picking up a lot of #1 votes. It is small in scope, somewhat similar, strangely actually, to September 5 and how it's kind of this small, contained chamber piece kind of a film. Right now it's currently number 24 in Gold Derby, and I feel like that is like, whoa, that is way too low. Like I'd put that at 15, 14, something like that. So
Yeah.
that is one I am looking out for. Like I think there is something there that might happen.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, when I saw it in Venice, like it just made the most noise. Like it was the film that was on everybody's lips. Like it was just so powerful, and not everyone's seen it yet as well. Like it just needs a bit of time maybe to catch fire. But yeah, it's got the emotional X factor. Like, and also it was produced by Plan B. It's got some big names attached to it in terms of production, and you know they can help get it out in front of more voters as well. So like when you've got people like Jonathan Glazer and Alfonso Cuarón, Brad Pitt, Rooney Mara, and you know Joaquin Phoenix, all backing this film. Like you know they're influential figures. Like they can get this film in front of voters.
Yes.
So like it might not be on everyone's radar right now, but, and it could also be a film that drops off. It's it's only being distributed by Willer, I believe, in the United States. So it's not like it's got a massive like distributor behind it. But you never know. Like sometimes the emotional X factor can be what can drive a film forward.
Okay, well, we talked about Best Picture. Let's see if we can rip through Director. We'll try to move a little faster. I know once we get talking, we are like obsessed about this. We can talk about it all day.
I could talk all night, but
we're going to move on to Best Director. And this one, Director, though, is a bloodbath. Like, there are 7, 8, 9 people that are so deserving of a nomination, but there's only 5 slots. So just, like, list off your locks and briefly why they're locked.
Ooh, that's tough. All right, well, I should probably start off by saying I think I have one lock, and that's who I think's winning. And I think that's Paul Thomas Anderson. I just think there is so much working for him, you know, because his film currently, according to the awards pundits, is the Best Picture frontrunner. He is so overdue. 11 previous Academy Award nominations, no wins. 3 of those were directing. Okay, like a lot of people are seeing this as, you know, this is his time.
If he was nominated for Phantom Thread and misses here, it'd be insane.
A gag.
So there's no way.
Exactly. So so I feel like he's the only one I feel like 100% locked in. I feel like given my top 5 picks for Best Picture, I should just go with the 5 films that I've locked in for Best Picture, which were One Battle After Another, Sinners, Sentimental Value, Hamnet, and It Was Just an Accident. So that's Chloe Zhao, Joachim Trier, Ryan Coogler, and Jafar Panahi. That would be the logical 5, but it's never always that straightforward. Like, there's always other factors that play. Like, I think even last year, I don't think many people, I certainly didn't predict James Mangold to get in. I think a lot of people were going Edward Berger to get that 5th spot. But yeah, James Mangold got in. So you just never know for sure. And there's so many other films like in Best Picture, like, or films I think are getting into Best Picture that would also be deserving of a nomination. Like, I absolutely think Park Chan-wook would be more than deserving of a nomination for Best Picture. Sorry, Best Director.
Sure.
In another year, I could see films like Jay Kelly or The Testament Anley getting a nomination for Best Director as well. But it's just such a stacked year. It's such a bloodbath. So I really am like, torn on what I should go for, but I feel like the 5 that I should go for are the 5 that I can see definitely getting to Best Picture. I feel like it's like a cowardly prediction to just go with the 5 that I see getting in for Best Picture. My locks currently.
So I have just one little difference with my prediction.
Where do we differ?
I have Paul Thomas Anderson at number 1. I do have Chloe Zhao at number 2. Number 3, I have Josh Safdie at number 3. And then number 4, I have Jafar Panahi. And number 5, I have Hakeem Trier. So I have Ryan Coogler out at number 6.
That's why I have him at 5 as well. I understand why you wouldn't have him in your 5 as well, because like, as frustrating as it is to say, it's still a horror film, and there's still a chance that the Academy just might not go for Sinners for direction. But there's so much passion for Ryan Coogler, like, because he's not had a Best Director nomination before. And this really does feel like, sort of his biggest accomplishment yet as a filmmaker, which is saying a lot given his filmography. But yeah, what he's pulled off with Sinners is, a masterclass, an artist working at the peak of their powers, really, but also making a movie that makes money. Like, it's very rare to see something like that happen. So I would love to see that happen for Ryan Coogler, but I absolutely understand why not everyone will have him in their predictions. But hopefully he gets some support at the precursors, and then we got to hope that momentum carries over, because even this time last year I was just like, could Coralie Fajar get in for The Substance? Like, I feel like I think there's enough love and fanfare for the film, and like, you could argue like that in a way they are sort of like word of mouth horror successes. So yeah, could Ryan Coogler finally do it? I think there is definitely an outcome where he can, but I have him on the edge. I have him at position number 5.
I mean, you would think just for that musical number, the I Lied to You musical number alone would be enough to secure his spot in there.
Yeah.
This director branch is very picky with their selections. Barbie was a notable snub in this category. Also, that was WB, right? Yeah. I kind of knew Greta Gerwig was going to get the snub for Barbie. This one is harder to call because I think there is just so much, he's shooting on film as well. So I know the director branch is going to respect that. So I still do think Coogler, like, it's not like for sure, like, I do think Coogler could get in. It's really tough. And more statistically putting in the other ones, just because I feel like odds-wise, I feel like I know I'm going to get 4 out of 5 with the ones I have currently. Who do you have out again? Remind me, who's at 6 for you?
So at 6, I have Park Chan-wook. I do have Josh Safdie.
And then you have Josh Safdie.
Again, I'm sort of holding off until I've seen Mighty Supreme. It's just so hard for me to like put someone in my 5 when the 5 that I do have and I have seen, I know how good they are, and like when I see the Mighty Supreme, I'll go, okay, I get it. Now I have to put it in my 5. But just until I've seen it, I'm going with the 5 that I know I've seen. And to be fair, the 5 that I've got is a really good 5. Like, it's a strong, like, if this was our 5, it's, it's strong, it's diverse, like, it's a really good representation of different types of films as well. So yeah, I would love to be right here and get 5 out of 5. I'm probably not going to get 5 out of 5 as of right now. But yeah, if it was this 5, Paul Thomas Anderson, Jafar Panahi, Chloe Zhao, Joachim Trier, Ryan Coogler, there'd be no complaints from me. That would be like one of the strongest Best Director lineups that we've had in a long time.
This year I had Coogler in at 5 and I had Trier out. I was considering snubbing Trier. I was going on a limb last year and predicting that Amelia Perez was going to get snubbed in director, but when it became clear he was not missing anywhere, I put him back in. And this year I don't want to make the same mistake because I do think this branch is going to like their international picks.
Yes.
And are you aware of this Cannes thing? This Brother Bro and Oscar Expert brought up this correlation with Cannes directors. Have you heard this one?
Is it about the last few years? Well, was it last 4 years? So we had 3 last year from Cannes with Sean Baker, Jacques Audiard, and Coralie Fajar all starred at Cannes. The year before that we had Jonathan Glazer and Justine Trier, and the year before that we had Thomas Vinterberg for Triangle of Sadness. So statistically,
Ruben Östlund.
Oh, Ruben Östlund. Sorry, what did I say? Thomas Vinterberg.
Thomas Vinterberg.
Sorry, that's another round. That's another round, so I'm getting them mixed up. But thank you for correcting me. Yeah, typically they do like to gravitate towards the auteurs and the ones that star for Cannes. Was that what they were leaning towards, Brother Brown, Oscar expert?
Yeah, there's actually a long-going streak with films that got into Best Picture and premiered at Cannes go to director. So this is the stat. I went ahead and looked it up on a nice clean stat. Since 2002, every Best Picture nominee that premiered at Cannes got that director nomination. The only exception I could find was Elvis, which screened out of competition.
Oh, yes.
That was the only one I didn't. I see a discrepancy. The last time this didn't happen was Moulin Rouge. So we're on like a 20 movie streak of a film that's in Best Picture that premiered at Cannes. That's going in your director lineup. They have a lot of respect for those Cannes directors. And like you said, you mentioned a few of them already. Zone of Interest was another example. Triangle of Sadness, Anatomy of a Fall, Amelia Perez, The Substance, Drive My Car. Remember Hamaguchi got into that director lineup? That was a surprise that year. Premiered at Cannes. So I thought that was like fascinating. I was like, wow.
I'm pretty confident we're going to get two from Cannes, which will be Trier and Jafar as well. I think those would be our two.
Yeah.
Like the Palme d'Or stat is good to go off of as well. So that's been very reliable recently in terms of what's winning the Palme, also getting a nom for Best Director. Just Sentimental Value has that sort of crowd-pleasing factor as well. And it won the second place prize. It's got some strong like star power in it as well. So I think it's a safe prediction to presume Joachim Trier is going to gain, but like there's still a little bit of doubt, maybe just a little concern. Maybe he could miss, but I don't want to put that out of the universe, but like, there's still a little bit of me thinks that maybe he might miss, but...
I mean, the one concern that you could have is DGA. I do not think Trier is making DGA, personally. I typically, the crossover is 4 out of 5 for DGA makes it to picture, or makes it to director. And we have two, we have Panahi and Trier, and the idea of both of them getting, either one of them getting DGA, I just don't see happening. I do feel very good about Coogler getting DGA. Like, that is... going in. I feel very confident about that. I think 2 years ago, there was a 3 out of 5 crossover where we had two Cannes directors not get DGA, but end up getting picture, or getting in director. That was Jonathan Glazer and Justine Trier for Anatomy of a Fall. So I think that's kind of something similar that we can see this year, where Panahi and Trier both get in, both Cannes directors, probably miss DGA, but will likely get into the director lineup. So then I have Josh Safdie. I have him pretty high. Again, like, it is hard to kind of put him so high. I have him at number 3. I'm just kind of basing it off of that overpouring of love from the reactions that I saw from New York Film Festival. He has that kind of Sean Baker reputation of being an auteur who's climbed the ranks through the years, building his resume. And also the film is kind of being described as a little Scorsese-y, big punch in the face. It's being described as very ambitious. It's going to have the Best Actor frontrunner. So I figured, I'll put Safdie in. I mean, Park Chan-wook, I do have at number 7. I was going to be stubborn all year and keeping my 5, but I'm kind of just getting real with myself. It does feel like a little bit of an uphill battle, but not impossible. But man, if he gets in, I will scream to the ceiling. I'll be so stoked that he got in.
There is a world where I can see him getting in, and that would be, just a wonderful, surprise, and so well deserved as well. It's kind of funny that like so few people do have him in their 5 for Best Director. Like, when I think most people would say, he would absolutely be deserving of a spot. It's just he's not quite as secured in there because like his film doesn't feel as much of a lock for Best Picture as the other ones do. So I will fall out of my chair probably. Like I really want to see that happen.
Yeah. And the only 3 that I would mention as other ones that I'm actually seriously considering, as because Best Director lineup is very unpredictable sometimes. You'll get a surprise often. I do have Guillermo del Toro as being a possible because he is so beloved. I have him at 8. I do think Phil Ho from The Secret Agent, I think he could sneak in there. And number 10, I have Clint Bentley, only because I'm a believer in Train Dreams, and maybe I can see it as kind of like a Lenny Abramson kind of Room choice, but not likely. It's on the bottom of my 10, but still, those are the only other options I could see for me. I know there's a Baumbach because he is beloved, so maybe that's possible. Maybe they just love the guy. But is there any other ones that you're seriously considered? Not really ones that could be, but ones that maybe like, I could maybe see a world.
Yeah, Josh Safdie, obviously. Kawtha Ben-Hania, like, there's something about her direction in the voice of Hin Rajab that I was so enveloped by. Like, it's both urgent and intimate, it's claustrophobic, but also, like, you really, really feel it. I would love to see that happen, like, for her. I'd love to, like, see that as a sort of a surprise nomination. I feel like Chloe Zhao's, like, the female nomination that we feel very secure is going to happen. Next in line for me would probably be Kawtha Ben-Hania. Some people might go Catherine Bigelow or Mona Passfold or The Testament Anne Lee. If there was to be a second female nominee, that's the one I would want to see. Yeah.
I love it, and I agree. All right, so your official 5 predictions, remind me again, what are they?
Okay, bud. So my 5 for Best Director as of October, November. Bear in mind, it probably will change. Number 1, Paul Thomas Anderson. Number 2, Jafar Panahi for It Was Just an Accident. 3, I've got Chloe Zhao for Hamnet. 4 is Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value. And at 5, I've got Ryan Coogler for Sinners. Hit me with your 5.
Very cool. My 5, I got PTA at number 1. I got Chloe Zhao at number 2. At number 3, I have Josh Safdie. Number 4, I have Jafar Panahi. And number 5, I have Joachim Trier. Number 6, I have Ryan Coogler. God, I really hope Ryan Coogler gets in, but that's what I currently got. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, by the way, and want even more Oscar predictions, I think I'm going to be joining Luke on his channel for Best Supporting Actress, right?
Yeah, we're going to do a deep dive of that category, pal.
Awesome. Go look him up, Luke Hearfield. I'll put his link in the bio where you can find that video, or I'll pin that video, and you can check out his other stuff. He's got really great Oscar coverage. He just passed 10,000 subscribers. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you so much, pal. Yeah.
Absolutely. So go ahead and subscribe, get him to 11,000, and I would love to hear from you all as well. What do you think is going to be nominated for Best Picture and Best Director? I always love hearing from you guys. So until next time, I will see you at the Oscars.